Hola, my nome is Kyler Mackenzie. I'm on Artist Discovery. Coming at you. Who is Kyler Mackenzie? Well, I'm just a guy playing music, going around traveling, and sharing my music with other people while I'm on the road. Well, I was always a creative guy, but back home in Canada, I used to work in concrete, in construction. I used to play rock. I was in a rock band. I would be working long hours in construction, and one day I found a video of a guitarist on YouTube, and he kind of inspired me, and I started to learn. I switched my style of music. I made the transition eventually from concrete to traveling around and playing. Well, it's a hell of a jump, I'll tell you that. Big difference. Oh, that's a good question. I'm still trying to figure it out myself, to be honest with you. I mean, I think we're in the golden age of like music, being creative and stuff like that. The one problem is there's always, it's too much out there, it's too much information, so you kind of get lost in the minutia. The trick is really to find your niche and to stand out somehow, right? And that's something I think every artist, especially in the beginning, struggle with, I do a lot of busking too, playing on the streets, different squares in different cities, right? And I find that's a good way to promote yourself too, because it's a live environment and people can see you in real time. So that's definitely a good way to put yourself out there, Oh, wow, man, it's a big difference. If you play the right stage in the right environment, like for example, you saw me at So Far Sounds, right? That's like a perfect environment for a musician because the audience is amazing, first of all. And So Far Sounds does an amazing job always. I played a few of them, not just at Guadalajara. I also played in Malaga, in Lisbon, and back home in Toronto. So they have a similar theme of like a really awesome venue, really nice audience. And yeah, it's really like a safe, perfect gig to play. Well, you play other gigs sometimes, and man, you want to like, it feels like your soul's getting crushed. That sounds dramatic, but when you see it, right when you look at it, you say, oh God, you start looking at your watch, saying like, I gotta kill this hour, Now you ask me, how is that different from playing on the streets, right? That's two different beasts, First of all, the streets is very spontaneous in that sense where anything can happen. And I've been doing it professionally since 2019, so about 6 years. And when I say anything can happen, I mean anything. And for me, everything has happened, both good and bad, right? In a sense, when you're playing music on the street, it's more interesting because no one expects you to be there 5 minutes before, right? You show up and suddenly you're in people's worlds. You suddenly create this moment between your music and the audience if they do like you. And it's kind of interesting. It's really cool, especially when you travel somewhere where they don't speak your language, because you're communicating even though you don't share, you don't speak their language. Like, man, I've been to many strange places, strange in a good sense, like strange for me, beautiful places, right? And then when you got this crowd and the music is the connection, it's a really cool feeling, So that's the difference, I would say. There's many other examples, but that's the most basic answer I can give you. Oh man, you're asking me to explain Lord of the Rings, like, or like that's like every day is an example. Well, I'm here in Mexico. Mexico actually has been a very positive experience for me. Usually I'm either in Canada or in Europe playing. So now I'm in Mexico, and I have been doing some performances here, busking, playing on the streets. And I did some I started in Playa del Carmen. I went to Guadalajara, where I met you, and now I'm in Puerto Vallarta. And my experience here in Mexico has been quite positive, actually. Especially a lot of people were telling me like, oh, you're going to Mexico, like you be careful, right? You're gonna play on the streets, they'll kill you. Which really is not the case at all. Like, I didn't believe it, but people, they like to talk, But every country that I go to, I get the same thing. Like, be careful, don't do it, right? Like, I played it last year in Serbia, and then a few years before then I played in Russia. I just set up playing on the streets, right? One thing I noticed is people are really the same all over the place, right? Like, people got their lives, they got their own problems. It's interesting to see a musician on the street and no one's gonna bother you. I mean, it's not safe 100%. I've had some scary situations, man, I gotta tell you. But I had some good ones too. Really, that's what I can say about it. Oh, in a lot of ways. First of all, when you're busking, when you busk in a new town, right? You see what works and what doesn't right away. For example, if you're playing something and you're not holding the attention of the crowd, you have to adjust, right? You also have to make it honest for yourself too. Like, you want to play honestly, right? Not just for people, but for you too. But you start to create just on that alone. I don't know if that makes sense, but if something that works in one place doesn't work in another, you start to switch your what you're playing, and suddenly you have like a new 10 seconds of a song. Of course, when you're in a new place as well, you meet the other musicians. You hear the music. Like, I know in Mexico, you got a lot of mariachi, right, going on here, which is very cool. And then you get a little idea. It's like, oh, that 2-second thing might be cool. I can use that somehow, right? But yeah, definitely impacts big time. Listen, every artist is ultimately on their own journey, and they got to do what works for them. There's no right way and there's no wrong way, right? So do your thing, see how deep you want to go with your art, and figure it out for yourself. Because there's a million ways to do it, you know. Ultimately, there's a quote that I try to live by, and it's inspiration finds you working. You understand? So if you want to be serious about your creativity, if you want to channel that the creative energy, do something that you can be proud of, you got to be working constantly, even when you feel tired or hungover. You got to be there, right? You got to show up. That's it. I would say if you guys are interested in my music, it's Kyler Mackenzie music. I'm sure you'll get the spelling. It's a weird spelling, you know. And yeah, check it out. Give it a like. If you guys do like it, I have a little page there that says buy me a coffee. It's like a little tip. Gets me a coffee on the road. If you guys like it, of course. And yeah, man, that's it. Okay, guys, thank you for joining me. My name is Kyler Mackenzie, and I'm on the Artist Discovery.